Jerry Wattenberg, Managing Director of the investment consultancy firm JTW International. It seems to have been not quite a flop, but definitely a big disappointment, this bailout plan Mark II.
Well, I think that the market had gotten ahead of itself. People were expecting some silver bullet that he was going to announce that was dramatically different than everything we've heard before. And during the speech, during the announcement, it became clear, evident that there wasn't a lot of new news, and there were new initiatives, more money, a stronger position within the government that they were going to spend more money, but nothing dramatically new that would cause the markets to rejoice. And I think what you saw is the classic buying on the rumor and then selling on the fact when it happened.
In fact, we didn't really get very much further than the rumor. The facts didn't really add to the rumors. I mean, we knew about the idea of a big bank. Do we know very much more about how it will work and how the valuations will be determined at which the government buys into some of these banks?
You know, it's exactly what you said. The devil is going to be in the details, and the problem with the bad bank concept is, where do you value these assets? If you ask the banks themselves, they value them at X, and if you ask the market, they value them at half of X. And somewhere in the middle, the government's going to have to step in. And the question is, who wins, who loses? The taxpayers, the banks, and then because of that, you're in a kind of stalemate situation. So I think the market in general wants one big grand solution, which you throw all the bad assets into this bad bank and work your way back from that. However, economic reality and the bank's balance sheet is not going to let them just sell it at any price, and also the taxpayers are not going to be willing to step up and pay the price that the banks want. So there's going to be a lot more negotiation in this.
I mean, let's tease this out, because what this actually means is the government could, if it really wanted to, if you or I wanted to buy those assets, we could buy them at absolute rock-bottom prices. But there's an expectation, isn't there, that the government should buy them at something slightly more decent. And that's really what the markets are looking for.
Right.
But clearly it's going to be better for the taxpayers, isn't it, if the government does buy them at rock-bottom prices, because then there's a decent chance of making a profit a little way down the road.
That's exactly right. I think what you have is the banks who are valuing the asset at, let's call it 80 cents. All of a sudden, somebody might buy it or say value it at 40 cents. And so the question is, if you're the taxpayer and you're on the side of the government, you certainly want to buy it at 40 because it may be worth 60 and you may make money. If you're a bank, you do not want to sell it at 40 because that's going to eat into your capital. It's going to erode your position because you're valuing it at 80. So somewhere between the two, you're going to have to find a middle ground, and that is what the problem is.
Just very briefly, Jerry, just answer this for me. Very important in all of this is the reputation, the authority, the credibility of the Obama administration, in particular the U.S. Treasury Secretary, Tim Geithner. In a couple of sentences, do you think he's won that so far?
It's a work in progress. I think he needs to continue to, win over the people, to be clear. I think his following, not taking questions from the press, but going on the news shows to try and boil down a very complex problem to words and sentences that people understand. I think one of the failings with Paulson is he did speak in rhetoric. He did speak in jargon that if you come from that side of the world, you understand what he's saying. If you don't, it sounds like, alphabet soup, all the different names of all the different policies. So it's going to take time. And Obama's strength has been in his communication of big issues to the people. And so he needs people who can do that with him.
All right. Thank you very much, Nick. Jerry Wattenberg there of JTW International.